तो कैपिटल गेन्स को एक अलग टैक्स की व्यवस्था की गई है जो कि कम है। वो इसलिए की गई है कि रिस्क उसमें है और उसमें लोग रिटर्न करते हैं कैपिटल मार्केट को बढ़ावा देने के लिए, तो उसमें 12.5% हमने टैक्स लगाया, तो वो एक अलग रखा जाता है। उसमें एक अलग एग्जेम्पशन लिमिट भी है। यदि वो एक साल में कैपिटल गेन्स आपको इज इट 1.25 लाख 1.25 लाख यदि हो तो वो एग्जेम्प्ट भी होता है, तो और यदि शॉर्ट टर्म हो तो वो 20% होता है, तो वो एक व्यवस्था अलग है। और नॉर्मल इनकम की व्यवस्था है जो कि स्लैब रेट और उससे कम, और नॉर्मल इनकम तो इसलिए वो अलग ही व्यवस्था है जो कि स्लैब रेट और उससे कम, और नॉर्मल इनकम तो इस वित्त मंत्री जी ने स्पष्ट उसको कर दिया था स्पीच में, क्योंकि ये कंफ्यूजन की संभावना थी कि सब लोग ये समझेंगे, तो उसको स्पष्ट किया गया।
46 पीछे
Hello, ma'am. Harsh Kumar from Business Standard newspaper. Ma'am, since government has decided to move ahead with the comprehensive asset monetization plan, so what are the new changes from the previous one, and if you can give some broader aspects of it in detail?
See, as we are aware that till the last year, the first program which was launched in 2021, achievements have been of the order of about 90%, which is a good progress. Based on that success is the next leap, almost double the amount which are coming up. And there are newer asset classes will also be come up. For example, transmission assets, and not just of the Government of India. Government of India doesn't own, say, power corporation, power transmission corporation, but state government's assets are also there. So they will do the monetization, and you will hear very soon that entire plan will be out.
Sir, can we in future get a separate number of asset monetization and
see this money, what the intent is? There's already an investment, or other the assets are there which may be owned by Government of India, which may be owned by, say, NHAI, or they may be owned by one of the PSUs. They disinvest, not disinvest, they monetize that asset and use that money to build a fresh or a new project and a new asset, plow back that money back into the economy. So these are not necessarily money coming to Consolidated Fund of India. Very rarely the money comes in. NHAI doesn't invest, money remains with them, they build another road by using that money.
13.
Hi ma'am, good afternoon. I am Kriti, I'm from Informist Media. So right now you just said that your fiscal prudence has finally aligned with your glide path that you had announced in FY21. This year you have given a new roadmap, so mentioned debt to GDP roadmap. You aim to bring down your debt to GDP ratio to 49 to 51% by FY31, considering the nominal GDP would be in the range of 10 to 11. So based on that, and you said that you will peg your fiscal deficit in a way that it goes on to bring down your debt to GDP ratio. So is there a rough estimation of what kind of fiscal deficit you may have by FY31? And secondly, on 31, when you aim to bring down your debt to GDP ratio. Secondly, on funding of fiscal deficit for the next fiscal year, you have brought down the borrowing from small savings from considerably low, it's 16% low from last year. Is there any reason for the limited optimism? Earlier it used to finance 25% of your deficit, now it's going to finance 22% of your deficit. So if you could just elaborate on if there is any reason for that. Thank you.
First of all, that what is going to be the fiscal deficit in nth year from now? The path is very clear that debt to GDP ratio will be on a declining path, depending upon what the growth rate in the economies are, what kind of a stimulus measure or if further consolidation measures would be needed. And the roadmap does envisages three scenarios: mild, moderate and high level of consolidation. So do your maths there, that the range is coming up in the best case scenario, the highest growth rate and highest level consolidation can go as low as 47.5%. Very low growth rate, etc., it comes to 52. What the goal is taken is 50 plus minus 1%, and that's showing the physical response to needs of the economy. So that is the goal, but overall numbers are slightly lesser than this year, and to that extent market borrowings we have indicated which will be slightly less than the current year numbers, marginally lower are there, but if there were to be more inflow of small savings, to that extent market borrowings will go down, and as you are aware, we do set the calendar every half year.
51.
Hi ma'am, this is Vikas from the Hindu. First of all, you've left us with very few questions after that announcement on the direct taxes front. And you mentioned that there is a 1 lakh crore revenue foregone from that move, which is obviously going to help boost consumption and demand and private investment in turn. I wanted to get a sense of the mathematics behind the overall fiscal math that we worked out for next year, because despite this tax relief, we are looking at a direct income tax as receipts as a part of gross tax receipts are likely to rise to 33.7% as per the revenue receipts plan, and which is the highest ever, and marks a significant increase over the 24-25 income tax receipts. So I wanted to understand what's what gives, how do you work this out? Because on one hand we are giving away significant relief. Where do we expect the gains
I hope
from?
you're not suggesting we shouldn't have done this. Are you? I hope you're not suggesting that we shouldn't have done this income tax, giving money back to people through rebates and other ways.
No, I'm just curious where we expect the buoyancy coming from.
That's fine. All right.
Yeah, that's what even I asked.
It was answered at that time. Anyway.
Okay, let me just see. We are talking about personal income tax, taxes on income, and we had 19.7% growth in 22-23. We have 25.4% in actual terms, and 24-25, 23-24 we had 25%, and 24-25 if you take the RE figures, growth is likely to be 20%. And what we have proposed for 25-26 is a growth of 14.4%. So we have moderated. I mean, we have been growing 20% almost on this plan, and we have made it 14%. Now coming to buoyancy, our buoyancy was in for the taxes on income was 2.65 in 23-24, and 24-25 expected buoyancy is 2. And the buoyancy which has been assumed for 25-26 is 1.42. So you would see that we have assumed a moderate buoyancy, looking into the sacrifice of revenue which has been done. So we have done our math. Thank you.
9.
Good evening, ma'am. Considering the government's measure to put
अपना परिचय दे दो.
sorry, this is Chetan from Business Today. Considering that the government's measure to put in more money into the hands of the public, are you trying to mitigate the impact of a possible Trump tariff trade wars from the US, or are you relying more on domestic production to ensure that Indians have a shield from the US trade wars if they happen to be so?
Well, I don't think we've gone that far to justify this income tax rate reduction. We've responded to the voice of the people and also made our own assessments, and therefore we've given this. And I thought there was an allegation also that we didn't respond to what may come through the US administration's tariff whatever decisions. Well, I don't think these two are connected, at least in the way in which we like to believe it. You may want to give a different dimension, but no, we have not done it with that intent.
64 at the back.
मैडम नमस्कार, मैं महावीर सिंह बोल रहा हूँ, फ्रीलांसिंग करता हूँ। आपने इनकम टैक्स में बड़ी राहत दी है। हम तो 10 लाख की उम्मीद कर रहे थे, आपने 12 लाख कर दिया एकदम। और मुझे लगता है कि क्या सरकार इनकम टैक्स रिजीम से हटकर एक्सपेंडिचर टैक्स रिजीम की तरफ जा रही है? जो आप इनकम टैक्स में आपने कहा कि इस राहत से 1 करोड़ लोग इससे बाहर हो जाएंगे और इसमें कम ग्रोथ होगी, और दूसरी तरफ आपका जो टैक्स रिसीट है वो बढ़ता जा रहा है, पूरे बजट का आकार बढ़ रहा है, तो सरकार क्या एक्सपेंडिचर टैक्स की तरफ ज़्यादा झुकाव
नहीं, ये सिर्फ आने वाले साल के, मतलब अभी अप्रैल 1 से शुरू होने वाले साल के टैक्स प्रपोजल्स है। आप पिछले साल का रेवेन्यू को देख करके इससे ये कनेक्शन मत निकालिए। हम जनता के लिए, मिडिल क्लास के लिए राहत दिलाने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री जी के आदेश के अनुसार रेट रिडक्शन किया है, उतना ही है।
47.
Just to add that point, to give you a data point, direct taxes are supposed to increase by 12.7% next year. Indirect tax, which is on the, say when people buy goods and services, is expected to increase by 8%. So that should answer your question.
Yes.
हमारी सेंट्रल अमाउंट शामिल है।
एक इसी पॉइंट पे, और यदि हम देखें डायरेक्ट टैक्स और इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स का रेशियो, तो वर्तमान साल में आरई में ये 1.39 है, मतलब डायरेक्ट टैक्स लगभग 139% है इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स का। अगले साल ये 145% है। तो जो आप कह रहे हैं उसका उल्टा है, डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस पे अधिक अगले साल राशि प्राप्त होगी एज कम्पेयर टू इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स।
और यदि हम देखा जाए बॉयंसी जो है वो इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस में 0.82 है, क्योंकि कस्टम्स जो है वो कोई अभी हमारे लिए एक रेवेन्यू का साधन नहीं है, वो एक बॉर्डर मेजर्स है, और बहुत समय में हमने ड्यूटी रिड्यूस भी की हैं, क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा हाई टैरिफ लगाने से भी उसके ठीक परिणाम नहीं, तो ये भी नहीं है। और CGST और सेस में हमारा जो बॉयंसी है वो सिर्फ 1.08 है, तो आप देखेंगे कि वो उसमें कोई एक्स्ट्रा हमारा करने का विचार नहीं है।
Ma'am, Prakash Pedashi from ET now. Yeah. The KCC limit has been enhanced to 5 lakh. So any assessment on how this decision will boost rural consumption? Secondly, ma'am, the budget document mentions something about sharing transaction details of crypto assets. If you could elaborate.
Sharing transaction details of
Crypto assets.
Okay. Nagaraj, you want to say on the KCC? Increase in the KCC.
Yeah.
Let me respond to the question on the KCC. This is to enable those farmers who are doing commercial cropping, they require more more crop loans are required. It will facilitate them, and government will provide the interest subvention for them up to limit of 5 lakhs. It is not first to assist the farmer. It is not a measure to boost rural consumption. That is not the intent. Intent is farmer needed more crop loans. It is to facilitate that. That is the purpose.
And 1 lakh is decided long time ago. High time it was changed.
The KCC loans are given at the 7% rate of interest. It's already subsidized by the government at 1.5%. Now, if the prompt repayment is there, there is another 3% to the farmer. The effective rate of interest on KCC loans is only 4%. Now, with the current announcement by the FM, there will be almost about 26 crore additional budgetary impact for this KCC loan.
45.
जहाँ तक क्रिप्टो का सवाल है, अभी हम क्रिप्टो पे टैक्स लगा रहे हैं, ऑल्दो इट्स नॉट अ रेगुलेटेड एंटिटी। जैसे ब्लैक मनी में भी टैक्स लगता है, तो उसी तरह से क्रिप्टो में भी टैक्स लगता है। नहीं, मतलब रेगुलेशन ना होते हुए भी इट इज़ टैक्सेबल। उसमें OECD G20 के अंडर जो हमारा फ्रेमवर्क एग्रीमेंट है, उसमें 2027 से ये निश्चित किया है कि सब जो उसके सिग्नेटरीज हैं वो उसमें इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करेंगे। तो उसके लिए टैक्स लॉ में ये व्यवस्था की जा रही है कि हम वो इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर करने का फ्रेमवर्क, जो रूल्स हमको बनाने हैं, वो हम कर लें।
Ma'am, Meghna Mittal from Money Control. The union budget has announced a big income tax relief in the new income tax regime. The budget has announced a big relief in the income tax. So, in the new income tax regime, so how many taxpayers have moved to this new income tax regime, and does this also mean that are we phasing out finally the old tax regime?
75% जो हैं, 75% have already moved to the new tax regime under the individual category.
No, if we are phasing out, I would have said it, na?
The scheme is available, but we expect that almost everyone will shift now.
224.
Good evening, ma'am. Shishir from Hindu Business Line. One of the popular scheme has been sovereign gold bond scheme. We have not seen any of the issue during the current fiscal, and we are not getting any mention for the next fiscal. Does this mean that there is a curtain to this scheme?
Well, yes, Ajay, yes, in a way, but Ajay can give you the details. Yes.
See, these are the decisions which are taken. What is the purpose is, one of course is to raise borrowings from the market for the purpose of financing the budget, and at some point of time whether this asset class is to be supported or not. But the conditions of the recent past with experience has been that this has been rather a fairly high cost of borrowings for the government. As a result, for the last several quarters, government has not chosen to follow that path. As and when a formal decision is there, you will get to know.
226. Left. We'll take two more questions.
Hello, hi.
After this.
Ruchika Chakravanshi from Business Standard. Just two things. One, if you could elaborate on the BIT that you've said that it will be made investor friendly. So will it be in the line with what we have with the UAE? And one, there is an increase in the corporate tax revenues also that have been projected in the FY26 budget. So what is the reason for you to, why are you expecting like a revival in corporate tax, which has been a bit of concern?
Well, on the BIT, I think I've stated the reason why we want to revamp it, to make it more investor friendly. Yes, I can understand you quoting UAE and asking whether it is going to be in line with that. UAE was a bit more than, it was 2016 plus, it was more than the 2016 version of the BIT. But there is no particular template that I am adhering to. We want to make it lots more robust and lots more investor friendly.
125.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Karishma from Business Today. Congratulations to you and everybody. Ma'am, Manrega has again, it's seen in stagnant allocation in the last 2 years, despite that this year's FY25 utilization has already peaked until December. Do you expect a mid-year revision? And ma'am, a quick clarification on crypto. When is the DA-led crypto paper likely to be released?
See, on Manrega, I think every year the same question is asked, and every year we answer the same question. It is a demand-driven program. If as a result of increased demand, a state or another state, a third state wants money because their demand has to be met, the RE shows the numbers and we increase it. But just because of that, it doesn't mean that my BE will have to be on the enhanced note. Every year the numbers, in fact every crop season, post the crop season, the numbers vary. So as a demand-driven program, we'll certainly respond to it as and when the numbers come. On the crypto, when is the DA paper likely to come? You'll get to know when it comes out.
This is last 6 at the back. Ma'am, I'm Bani Ginga Patnaik from the Economic Times. In your speech, you have said that there would be a light touch regulatory framework and that a committee will be set up to review all non-financial sector rules and regulations. So, ma'am, is there, any possibility that it will also include financial sector regulations?
But even as I read the speech, there were two different things. One for the non-financial and another for the financial. The financial is still being looked through the FSDC, whereas the non-financial is where we have appointed, or we are asking for an appointment of a high-level committee which will look at the regulations, particularly for compliance, for inspection, for certification. There are ever so many overlaps, friction points, pain points. So to sort that out, our approach is this: one through the FSDC for the financial, and for the non-financial, several of them which are non-financial, the high-level committee.
Ma'am, again, in the nuclear energy space, there is an announcement that there could be more private participation sought. So, is there any particular frame in mind that how we are going to do it, or any incentives or something of that?
No, what I've announced at the moment is what stands, and the respective departments will go into the details, and they'll come out after the year commences.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for.
मेरे नज़र में है